Okay, now.
All right, so here's my presentation. The first process, what was kind of one takeaway that I took about early literacy and literacy development. I learned that, students learn language like through observation. So like a simple, like just talking. Like when you do something, like even when you're cleaning the house, just like talking out what you do, honestly, play has such like an impact on our like children, like on children that we have, because then that way they like their vocabulary grows and then they learn more. Another way is that literacy can be fun. Like I mentioned before, I always thought like read alouds was just okay, just here's the book, I'm gonna read you the book, yeah, we're having fun, but like that's it. But it can be so much more than that. Like reading Mem Fox's book, how she said, no, like you can play games when you read. Like, okay, like let's look at our page. Let's see if we can find any A's in our book. And then kids can like find the letter A's on each page. Or, even before and afterwards, having that open discussion with students. Like looking at our cover page, what do we think our book's going to be about? Can we find any clues on our page? And then at the end, like, okay, what was your favorite part? What did you like about the book? And just kind of extending that read aloud is like so beneficial to students. Another thing, kind of adding on to that literacy literacy can start before children are born. And to go along with that, it's never too late to start literacy. I think like one of the big takeaways that I took from this class too is that you can do read alouds and you can like teach kids literacy even like after they're little, like even in 6th grade. Like you can still do read alouds in those older classrooms and those like older grades, and the students will still like love them. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'd rather be like listening to, a read aloud than like just listening to like a boring lecture or something. Kind of having the students more like involved and engaged will help them like understand the material a lot more. And then an in-class activity that I really liked was the phonics and word study. Before doing that, I always thought that it was like, it had to be like some big like elaborate lesson that we had to do in order to teach kids like the word in phonics. But like on our discussion board, seeing everybody else's point of views and like everybody posted their own different way, I really like it, and because it helped me like understand that there's so many more different ways to teach this. And I actually have a little sister who's 3, and some of the posts that people posted on our discussion board, like I currently use like in my everyday life that I use with her. Like one of them was as simple as, okay, in a car ride, let's see if we can find anything that starts with the letter P. And then that way she's not just, sitting in a car. It can be even like in a car ride, it can still be a time to like teach kids and have them learn. And then the last one, creating a balanced and culturally sustaining and socially just literacy environment. I think a big way to do this is just by expanding like our library in our classroom, showcasing books in our classroom that represent like a wide spectrum of things. It doesn't necessarily have to just be race. Like you can have books about poverty, you can have books about disabilities, about race, about gender. Like you can have so many different things, and books I feel like is a great way to showcase that, and it's just something that kids can just have on hand that they can just grab. Also getting to know your students, kind of showcasing books that represent the students that you have. So like for example, if you have kids that like speak Spanish or like that speak Chinese or like a different language, have books in your classroom that students can read and look at it and be like, oh wow, like that's so cool, like it has Spanish in this book, like I know how to speak Spanish or I know how to read Spanish, because it'll honestly like make their whole day to just see that their teacher cares enough to have those materials in the classroom and on hand for them. And then here's just like some books that I really love that showcase like disabilities, that showcase health, poverty, different races, and that was it.